Sounds good.
And I think that leads us to, unless there's anything else anyone can think of, I did find a pop quiz that says, can you tell which real Hollywood remakes from the fake ones?
Oh, Hollywood remakes from the fake ones.
So I don't know if you guys want to go through those or not.
I'm not sure what that means.
There's a list of 30 movies here. Are they going to remake these, or is it just a false rumor? So this list over here that I'm
So are they
going
to remake Beauty and the Beast?
Or is it false? Yeah.
Don't they remake it every 10 days?
I think so.
I've
yeah,
seen
possibly.
so many remakes of Beauty and the Beast at this point.
So we can just go through like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That looks like that kind of jumps out at me. RoboCop. That's obviously true. I already knew that was happening.
Do you know why it's called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Does it not have to do with the measurement of being underwater that far?
How long is a league?
A league was like
3 miles.
Is
roughly.
it 3 miles?
3 miles.
Shit.
Now, if you think
thought it was like
20,000
36.
leagues straight down, that would put you 60,000 miles straight down. The Earth is only 24,000 miles around.
Sure.
So it's maybe, 12 or 15,000 miles. So 20,000 leagues under the sea means in the submarine traveling for 20,000 leagues while being under the sea.
Oh, so they've gone around the Earth a few times.
Or
then,
in circles, but whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they stayed under for 20,000 leagues worth
gotcha.
of traveling.
Okay. That makes more sense, actually.
It does, right? And nobody ever explains that to you. As a kid, I used to just go, do I not know what a league is? I'd look in a dictionary and I'd be so confused.
We haven't actually had
Jared
one.
thinks that's stupid.
We haven't actually had one of these in quite a while. I think that was a nice, concise little professor moment.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for stopping by Professor's Corner. I don't know why I never thought of that. That's genius. So they are making a remake of Weird Science. They're gonna make.
Why? That's the perfect movie. Have you guys seen Weird Science?
No.
I have not seen
Perfect.
it. They're going to not be
6
doing
stars out of 5.
Towering Inferno.
Have you guys seen Towering Inferno?
No.
Good.
No.
Come on.
It's the most bananas
Yeah.
film I've ever seen. It's
Bananas.
so crazy. There's scenes in this movie where Kim and I would look at each other and go, "What the fuck just happened?" Like you can't what? Yeah, it's crazy. And it's way too long and it's
There's
stupid.
a great elevator
and
moment.
the acting is terrible, but the elevator moment, oh my gosh. And do you remember the stairs trying to get
The stairs, the window, the room. Yeah.
It's got Paul Newman in it.
It's got a towering inferno.
So the
Okay.
premise is that a giant skyscraper has caught fire.
Yeah, and they have
and a
to
bunch of people
escape.
are stuck on the top floor, and they have to figure out how to get down. And so it's kind of a Poseidon adventure.
Yeah, see all the ones. Yeah, you have
So weird.
Earthquake, Poseidon Adventure, Airport, all the ones, all 70s.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
classic.
As soon as he said Poseidon Adventure, that's the that's like the first thing
Yeah.
that came up on my screen. You guys
But
didn't
where the
see that,
Poseidon Adventure with Gene Hackman
Was
is
undergoing
actually
up, yeah.
a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Towering Inferno is a bad movie with moments that just make you go, "What?"
Yeah.
Wait, what about Earthquake or Airport?
I haven't seen Earthquake. I really want to see Airport, and then there's another one called Airport 1975 or something. But these are just in the 70s. They were
Classic
making
disaster films.
film after
Yeah.
disaster film. It's kind of like in the 2000s, we make zombie film after zombie film.
In
Right,
the 90s, didn't they do volcanoes?
Yeah, there's 2 volcano films. in
Yeah,
there.
what was that? Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Was there a couple of asteroid films in the 90s as well?
Yeah.
Armageddon. And
Deep Impact.
Deep shit.
Deep shit.
What's the one where
Deep
they go
Insider
looking
Pack.
for
And
the
how can we
funny
ever
stuff
forget
down in
the
Earth
core?
The
Oh
core.
my god, okay.
That's what I was just describing. I'm like, what's that one?
Okay, so if you guys want to go back into the archives, there is an old podcast on this network. It's probably in the 30s range, where me, Derek Yon, Katie Reed, and our friend Steve Mo talk about the core so long that I had to split it into 2 podcasts. We talked about it for like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Longer than the corpse.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie's a disaster,
Wow.
and it's so bad.
What do
It's
you
so many
mean?
movies.
It's
The
a-
Earth's
it's a-
core
it's-
stopping and having
It's
to
a
restart it?
masterpiece.
It becomes a masterpiece because it's one of those movies that's like maybe like the Towering Inferno, where it's just so bad, but it has those moments where you're like, oh, you should see this. Actually,
So to finish off the what started that was the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea comment. That is being remade into a movie.
Wow.
okay,
Vacation is being remade.
what?
Old Boy is being remade into a
Yeah,
movie.
we
I
knew
knew
that
about that.
Yeah.
with
Spike
Brolin.
Lee's making
Yes.
it with Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they stay true to that weird ass script because
Oh.
that
They
would be
better,
amazing.
'cause then it's not a remake.
Yeah, it'd be
Carrie.
an
Do you
adaptation.
think they might be remaking
Oh
Carrie?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I want to
say
know
for sure with Carrie. What are we at?
16. They are redoing Escape from New York.
Really? Who's going to be in it?
Doesn't say who.
My guess is Vin
Tom
Diesel.
Hardy
That would be
or
great.
Jason Statham?
yes, I would watch
Snake Plissken, huh?
Snake Plissken. Let's see what else on this list. Does anything else jump out on you or jump out?
Oh, it's jumping out
Are they
on me.
remaking the
The
Sting?
Sting false. Damn it.
Oh, have you seen the Sting?
Yes, that is-
Sting's good.
yes.
You should watch the Sting.
The Sting is great.
Plan 9, I think, is being remade, right?
Yes, true.
Plan 9 from. Have you seen Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No.
The Edward movie? Considered by a number, like most people actually, to be the worst movie ever made.
Really?
But it's the worst in the sense that you can. It's like The Room,
Like
where
The
you
Room.
can sit through it, and it's just. There's these great scenes where they're like these two cops
Crow.
come up to the spaceship, and it's clearly not a spaceship. They just built this really bad thing, and the cops have their guns, but they're not cops. They're actors holding toy guns, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think's inside this thing?" And just banging on it with their gun, and it's just so stupid.
Guys and Dolls, man.
Are they remaking
yeah.
that?
Shit.
Why?
I don't know. And same with Crow.
I've
That's
heard
what I was
about
trying.
that.
That's what I was trying to figure out if Crow
Crow.
had true next to
But
it.
Guys
the
and
Crow
Dolls,
true?
Yep.
yeah, that's a classic. I don't know.
Who's gonna be in the Crow?
Brendan Fraser led series was already. Wait, that's the Mummy.
The Mummy.
That's going to be remade.
I've heard they're remaking the Mummy. Yeah.
Sorry, what number was the Crow?
Oh, we're on the
You were
third page.
skipping around.
You
gotta go
skipped
to
around
page
again.
3.
Yeah, because I was checking on the Mummy. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Next page. Guys and dolls, whatever.
So
Whatever.
number 25.
With Joseph
True.
Gordon-Levitt.
They're redoing the Crow. Yes. And
Any Luke Evans?
remaking,
Who's Luke Evans?
Maybe Nathan Fillion could. No.
They're remaking Point Break.
they're redoing Poltergeist. I just heard that
Point
recently.
Break.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. Have you guys seen it?
No, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, Adam Carolla. I listen to Adam Carolla a lot. He's always talking about Point Break.
Point Break.
I
don't even know if it is good, but I love it. It doesn't
It's a
matter.
mad,
the
however
parachute
many
fight
world
thing.
is not being redone.
Johnny
It's a-
Utah.
and-
Mad world. You got to see that, guys.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to watch. But
Have you seen Animal House?
yes,
Oh, I hate Animal House.
It's surprisingly unfunny.
yes,
Isn't that great?
awful.
yeah.
I love to watch it and just sit there and go, man, I haven't laughed once in like an hour.
I laughed at the food fight, and I laughed at the hey, what do I look like? Is it? That was it.
No, you know when you laugh is when John Belushi runs across the lawn.
Yeah.
The way he scurries across. John
That's
Belushi's
true.
really funny.
Yeah.
in Animal
Well,
House.
and if
the rest of that movie's just disaster.
if you want to see a good John Belushi movie, and I'm sure this is no
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Oh
yeah.
my
You
God.
gotta watch.
Speaking
The fucking
of
mall
perfect
scene,
movies.
the mall scene is so they destroyed
Yeah.
that mall.
Yep.
Muppets.
Uh-oh, Muppets. And there's
Orange Whip. 3 orange whips. I love Blues Brothers.
and
It's
then
so
there's
good.
the in the mall chase scene. Did you ever notice the part where there's an extra that actually runs into the camera? Have you ever seen that part?
No.
You ever notice how the nun floats?
Oh, did she really?
She's like they have her on one of those rolly boards, but she's like, she just comes in.
The extras instructions on this one particular scene, it's when they crash into the jewelry store, so the chase is almost over. Their instructions were to act panicked and run to the right of the camera. There's 6 of them that go all in succession, and one runs past, and then the last dude just like and runs right into the fucking camera. Like, I don't know, this is like what, 1978, 1970, like
It's old.
cameras are the size of half of a house. How do
Right.
you how do you not miss that?
Just
runs right into it and grabs onto the lens.
Now, I've met John Landis and asked him a number of questions. First of all, when I met John Landis, I was working as a driver at the Sundance Film Labs, and during lunches, everyone would go to their various tables, and it would be all the stupid, crummy drivers like myself. We'd all sit around. No one want, because there's actors and real Hollywood actors and producers and directors. They wouldn't sit with us, so we're sitting around. But because we're all like film nerds, which is why you apply to be a driver at Sundance, we're sitting around talking movies and stuff. John Landis, who directed Blues Brothers, he comes walking by with his tray of food, and he hears us, and he goes, "Hey, you guys mind if I sit with you?" And we're like, "No." And he goes, "Yeah, all these directors and stuff, all they do is talk business. I want to talk movies."
Yeah,
so he
cool.
sat down with us, and we just talked movies. And so we asked him every question you've ever wanted to know about Blues Brothers.
That is great.
We're like, "How many cars did you wreck in Blues Brothers?" And he's like, "Not as many as you think, because we would crash a car and then we'd pound it out and crash it again." So we re-crashed cars constantly.
But in the movie, if you were to count them as individual wrecks, isn't that like one of the most?
Oh, tons.
There
are scenes where like 20 cars crash. Like, they don't just like, it's not like, oh, we crashed. It's like rolling and
on
rolling
top of each other.
Oh yeah, there's huge crashes. And we asked him about dropping you know how the Nazis, the Illinois Nazis, are chasing the Blues Brothers, and at one point they drive off the edge of a bridge.
Yes.
And even though the edge of the bridge is really 50 feet high, it cuts, and then suddenly they're higher than skyscrapers, and this car is just falling into Chicago. If you've never seen Blues Brothers, it's kind of a weird movie. So this car is falling.
It's another one of those all like nearly perfect movies.
I think so, but it's one that you have to watch a couple times before you'll get it. So this car is falling, and I asked John Landis, like, how'd you drop a car into Chicago? And he says, well, it's a funny story. We went to Chicago and we said, we want to drop a car from a helicopter from like, a mile up. And they're like, you can't do that unless you are sure that it will land where you want it to land. So they had to go out to the desert, take a car up, drop it, do it a second time to show that they could control a drop like that. And then they were allowed to go into Chicago and drop a car from like a mile up.
That's great.
It's so cool.
So that's like a legit...
It's a real. There's no special effects in that movie. You see a car falling and there's like skyscrapers. You see a car falling past it. That's a car they dropped into the middle of Chicago.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I like that. So we are already past our hour mark. So we do need to get to homework.
Oh, geez.
Okay, homework. Which was mine.
Your turn, Jeremy.
Which I requested end of watch. What'd you guys think?
Kimberly?
Kim hated it, obviously.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was really, really good. But I thought that it was it tore my heart out, and it just beat the shit out of it, and then it just laid there. I mean, it was just so hard to watch in certain places. I was near to tears when they would go to.
She was almost crying at a couple points.
Oh,
I watched it with my wife and the funeral sequence. Sorry, spoilers. And I was like, it cuts, it kind of fades to black, and then it starts to fade up on a funeral sequence. I'm like, well, this is going to be hard to watch.
Yeah, but they end with the earlier that day, so that we kind of
so you can kind of get redeemed
it was a
little
really
bit.
good move.
Which that scene in particular was fucking hilarious. It was really good.
I thought the movie was excellent.
It was great.
And I hate
found footage
movies, but this wasn't truly a found footage movie. They had some footage in it.
It was like,
but there were a number of shots that were clearly just film shots, outside of what cameras people were holding.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, though.
So powerful.
I was 20 minutes in. I turned to Kim. I go, this is the worst job in the world. I couldn't do this for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Guys who want to be cops, if you're a cop and you're not getting respect from your friends or colleagues, just people in this, if anyone ever comes and goes, hey, pig, you fucking piece of shit, you know what you say to them? Go watch End of Watch.
Yeah.
Because I came out of this movie going, anyone who dares to be a cop, first of all, they're probably a little touched in the head, but second of all, thanks.
Ooh,
anyone that has the guts to walk into a house
with that kind of shit
craziness going on.
Yeah.
There could be a gun right around the corner. I mean, there's a scene where a guy pulls a gun on one of the cops and he grabs his hand and it goes off,
firing,
and then they stop it, and they're like, "Hey, I hear he got a bullet off," and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it."
He's like, "I'm fine."
If that happened to me, that's all you'd hear about for the next 6 years.
Oh, for sure. Like, dude, you remember that fucking... It was a fucking routine stop.
This far from my face. face.
I think I know.
We're the
Did you see that
same.
fucking blocked it? It
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I agree. I'd be the same way. I'm like,
And that was the best thing that happened in the movie.
yeah,
That was the least painful thing about the kids that are taped up.
No.
that was a bummer. The dude with the fucking knife out of his face. That was a bummer.
My word.
He's just
Holy
sitting there.
shit.
My wife's
Talking.
yeah. My wife's like, what? Why
That's
is
a big Mexican.
my wife's like, shouldn't he be like laying down or something? I'm like, can't you tell? Like he's in fucking shock, big time. She's like,
Oh my god.
she had a hard time with it. She's like, this movie's fake. I'm like,
Like,
no shit.
No.
Your stomach sinks though. When
That movie
that
was
cute little
too-
Asian girl is getting pummeled by that dude.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
I instantly
And
was
he
like,
comes back around the corner and he says, "She gave me this."
Yeah.
That's
Give
it.
me the badge.
The
And then those two
badge.
girls were like, yeah, we knew that Rookie couldn't take it. She
Yeah.
said she pussy or whatever. And we're like, really?
Yeah.
She just got her face smashed
Caved in,
by
yeah.
a
Oh,
monster.
and didn't you hate that monster? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm
and
not
he's like, freeze. And he
resisting.
goes, I am not
Yeah.
resisting arrest.
And everyone asked him, "Why didn't you shoot him?" He's
Yeah.
Why
like,
didn't you shoot that? piece of
"Probably
shit?
should have."
Thomas, you're awful quiet.
You guys are talking.
What'd you think?
No, I liked it.
Wait, whoa, the room is spinning again.
I've liked other movies before. No, what I like the
It's
fact
almost as good as
that their friendship felt real. Like they did really feel like
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
And it makes it that much harder when you see stuff happen to them,
Yeah.
like scary things.
Oh.
And to be honest,
Every house they go into,
as-
you're like, dude, watch each other.
Yeah.
You know?
as I was watching it kind of struck me like it's almost like a buddy cop film because it's mostly about their relationship and what they do on the every day, but like it was a buddy cop movie, but with all these realistic gritty elements. So it almost felt like this is what a real buddy cop like relationship
Should be in real life.
is probably like. Whereas you see Lethal Weapon or all these other movies.
Cop out and all that.
This is where like this is what it's really like, and it almost had a military vibe as far as
Yeah.
they are they're brothers. The cops are a brotherhood. They have each other's backs,
And
I think you felt like that loyalty, like it felt real. All the
felt
characters.
authentic.
Well, I think
That
that's
theme,
where
yeah.
that the camera, the self camera kind of thing.
Oh, the
is
film,
what played-
the film class.
Yeah, which is what played the big part that really got you connected with those two because it was like them, like, hey, dude, what's up? Like,
Well,
it made
and
you like it
they
more.
kind
I
of
think that
what was
works.
cool is
It
it
works.
wasn't just like you're saying. It's kind of like the camera thing, but they switched from like the police camera to their personal camera
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
cameras on their chest, and it was, to be honest, it was nice because it kept that reality, but it also gave us the best shot without like making us sick to our stomachs while we were watching
Yeah.
it.
Now, for me, unfortunately, there was two major Hollywood things injected right into it. I don't know if anyone else picked up on it or not, but there's the dude that ended up with the dagger out of his face later. He's like, "You guys fucked up. You guys fucked up big. You guys are gonna get fucked so hard 6 waves from Sunday. You guys don't even know how much fucked up you. You don't even know how bad." Like, I hate
Right.
that kind of is to prove that he's got like bravado and is to prove like he puffs up his.
to be fair though, also, I mean, there are people like that, and like
There
to
are,
prove that
but how many other movies have you seen that type of
maybe, but if
stereotype
they
in?
exist, then what's wrong with that?
Well, there are people that are like that. He's just the dude. He's just the cop that I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
and I'm doing what's right, I guess. And he just thinks that he should deserve more credit for being a cop.
Did you catch though that character is upset and he talks about how you're going to get fucked by the LAPD because they said that he had something in his past which they don't go into, but
Yeah.
for whatever reasons he's not up for promotion ever. Right,
And so in other words,
he's just
he got-
stuck as a beat cop, and he sees these other two guys who are like hot shit, and they're
And
doing
fucking
really well.
around, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, you think you're all cool? Well, at some point it's going to catch up, and the LAPD is going to screw you like they screwed me." It's kind of what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dialogue there may have been a little Hollywoody.
And that's the dialogue, like specifically the words that he was saying. I realize that people like that in real life actually do exist. I've unfortunately met a couple of them, but
in this room,
Jared. But the actual words that he was saying, I'm like, I've heard these words shouted at someone from a superior to a rookie before. Like, this is kind of annoying.
What was the other?
It was a similar. It was the same guy, just later on the road. It was the time when they were at the contaminated cop scene, and then it was or they told him not to contaminate the cop scene towards the beginning, and then towards the end, the NSA guy or whatever, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna throw you guys a bone or whatever. Like that dude. I was like, I've heard that before too, but it wasn't enough to like be distracting. It's just in the back of my head, I was like, oh hey.
I'm just curious how else they could get that across.
I don't know how they could either.
I kind of liked when the detectives or the special kind of cops would show up.
You fucking up my crime scene.
Yeah, and they would treat our main characters with no respect because they're in uniforms. They just come up and be like, yeah, you fucking up our crime scene, get out of here, go stand behind the yellow tape, you know, that's your place is over there. And they just go stand behind the yellow tape and be like, hey, you know, we've been here 2 hours.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, there's like just kind of like two nobody trying to like defend themselves,
and it
like,
kind of shows you
so, you know, it's
that hierarchy that exists there, because you know, we watch enough cop shows and they usually just focus on homicide detectives or whatever, so we don't get to how many shows on TV have you seen where the homicide guys come in and there's just some nameless cop, uniform there and he's like, hey, go ask a question or something. They just, you know, okay,
they go write them off.
I'm in charge here. No, you're not. FBI.
yeah we've seen it so many times, but we're always on the side of the jerky guy that comes in, is like, get out there. So it's kind of nice to see it from a different point of view.
But the guy that you hate, that you think he's an asshole when he gets stabbed in the face, you can tell though that he's really like a cop, though, that he loves his job, because when they're putting him in the ambulance, he's pissed off that they cut his vest off because he's got to buy a new one. Because he's like, I told you to tell him not to cut my vest.
To be fair, though,
that's true.
Like, because
and they're like, don't. His eye is split. He's never working again.
Yeah, and he thinks that he's coming back,
but
he's like,
he wants to come back.
Pissed off that they cut his vest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that as soon as they said, like,
that was a good
that was a like I already have, ever since fucking Hostel, I've already had like really bad things about eyes in movies, but as soon as he came around the corner and he's just sitting there, I'm like, God. But and as soon as they said,
shocking,
not only is it in his eye, but it sliced his eyeball in half. I was like,
yeah. The end scene when I watched it with Derek, like, I literally got up, was like, I can't watch this, I gotta go. I love the movie.
Which scene?
The very, very end.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's
right
tough.
After the alleyway thing. I'm like, I gotta go.
It's so
I can't
rough.
watch this.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah. So hard to watch all that.
Yeah.
Because the first time I watched that, I was crying like a little girl.
But they do a really, in my opinion, they do a really good job of making it feel authentic. I felt like after watching this show that I get more of an idea of what being a cop really is about. Now, granted, every time they go into a house, it would turn into some kind of crazy situation. They didn't show us just the call where they're like, you sit down, and they sit down and then it's over. Like, they didn't show any of those moments. But even just them sitting in the car talking, I would be like, God damn, I could not do this job.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. And it also helped, though, that they clarified that they're like in the worst neighborhoods,
the worst precincts, and what
so they probably, I mean, they probably see and they do explain that they see a lot more than
in like one shift.
We see more in a shift than some cops see their whole career.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah,
some of the people that you'd see, that this kind of like the gangster kids, this bravado, like, I ain't afraid of nothing. That kind of need to prove how brave you are at any cost.
My God, I hated those gangster kids. I wanted to thrash them.
Talk about good acting. I mean, they seem really authentic. Like all the gang members.
I like the two.
Why do they call you Big Evil? Because my evil is big.
And then
when he's staring him down, when Big Evil's just staring at him.
Oh my God, I would have shit my pants.
I felt so uncomfortable when they went to that party, like. But you can tell that they're also kind of like chill cops. Like, put that shit
I
away.
love when,
we're not busting you for that. Just
I like
put that shit
when they're
away.
done with the stare down. He's like, "Yeah, and there's a noise complaint or some shit. Keep the volume down." And then they just like they just showed up not for the music, but they're like, "We know something's up, guys. Just so you know."
Yeah.
Turn down the music.
Yeah.
Like
And
obviously
they
that's-
leave.
Yeah. It was-
And the moment between the officer and that they obviously like have a pass together or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this is gonna it's gonna come to
Every-
blows. Thank God it didn't.
A lot of things. The whole movie in general themes or feels really authentic. That there's not very many things that take you out of that realistic reality that they
From
created.
start to finish, you're like, holy shit.
Oh, and it had Anna Kendrick in it. Apparently, she's
Pitch
my
Perfect?
new favorite actress.
Pitch-
Is she?
Isn't she in Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, I think that is.
That-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The red solo
Singer
cup
chick.
singer chick.
Yeah.
cups. whatever it is.
She's likable.
That was really
Yeah,
creepy
she
though.
is.
The,
I
think she's
the
likable.
like filming of the camera and going through his wall. I was like, that's a
She,
little invasive.
Yeah.
I think
They're not going to be needing this anymore.
Yeah.
She's one of those actresses who look natural and believable when you see them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. She's attractive, so you don't mind watching, but she's not like weirdly attractive. Where
Yeah.
you're like, there's no way
Some
she's
exotic,
dating that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
She looks like a real person.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
movie. Watch it. Definitely watch it.
Watch
Definitely
it for
watch
sure.
it.
I resisted for years. Thank you, Jarod, for making me watch it. I don't know what it
is.
came out, but-
It is a little bit of a downer. So
Yeah, it is.
It's
a bummer.
heavy.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Make
dark.
sure if you have time to watch 2 movies in a row, plan to have something that will just be retardedly funny right after it because it'll like help pick your spirits back up. But holy crap, it is so good.
Yeah.
That's
Very
good.
very good. But don't watch it if you're suicidal. So
Good acting.
thanks for watching, guys, and listening.
What's our
Appreciate
homework
it.
for next
We got to
week?
get out of
our
here, and
homework.
it's whose turn is it? Kimberly?
Thomas. No,
No, it's Kimberly. I think
Was it Kimberly?
I think it's
Yep.
Kimberly's turn
Yeah.
because
It
we
is
had to skip
Kimberly.
him because he was gone.
Yeah, that's right. You got skipped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what is it?
All
we'll make
right.
up for it next week.
So this is a film I haven't seen, but I've heard some pretty good things about it. It's kind of off the beaten path, but it's called Young Adult, and
Oh.
it stars Charlize Theron.
My wife watched this already without me.
No way.
Yeah, I was going through my queue to add it, and I was like, "Oh, already watched, 3 stars. What the fuck? I have not seen this." So my wife already watched it. She found it on her own. She heard about it and watched it.
Yeah, so I don't know what to expect, but it seems like it possibly could be a little gem. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, that's our podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get to do the outro
We don't get to
anymore.
do an
God damn
outro,
it! We still get
so-
to do it on the podcast, but not for YouTube. So. But pretty soon we're gonna start putting together our own with movie clips and stuff with Paul Walker and stuff. All right, so I gotta start figuring out what actual music, or maybe I'm gonna have to make my own.
Make your own.
I'm gonna have to make my own.
That's the secret.
All right, guys. Leave comments below about what you thought of the podcast, movies that you'd like us to watch, and then we can review them. Just give us whatever you want, and have a wonderful movie night.
Yay!
Peace
Yay.
out, bitches.
Yay.
Didn't work.
Damn it! Shit.
Didn't work.